Gay marriage to be overturned. Sweetfield, SCOTUS will overturn Obergefell. What the fuck? Team Poll by Timcast channel. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's watch it. Oh my god.
This is huge news, my friends. The Supreme Court has been formally asked to overturn same-sex marriage. Breaking news from this morning, Kim Davis, the former clerk who was jailed and fined and sued for refusing to issue same-sex marriage licenses, has filed an appeal and included a writ of cert to the Supreme Court saying Obergefell should be corrected. Now, here's where it gets crazy. 3 of the sitting justices right now had already voted no. We'll go over the record of how Obergefell passed some 10 years ago. But based on the current makeup of the Supreme Court, when you look at this breakdown, it seems very likely this will land 5-4 with the overturning of Obergefell, which means states, many of them, will no longer recognize gay marriage. It's going to get wild. I've got a map breakdown for you
awesome.
Showing you every state that is going to ban it overnight if the Supreme Court says no. And based on the overturning of Roe v. Wade, this one seems like a no-brainer. Let me tell you, my friends, Roe v. Wade, this was a shocking overturn. Decades of precedent. Settled law, they said. And it happened. Everybody said it couldn't happen. It's settled law. They were confirming Kavanaugh. Coney Barrett. The statements, I don't know which, I think it was Kavanaugh who may have said this, but the general sentiment was, look, Roe v. Wade is settled law. We're not going to flip this. And then they did.
Okay, I want to state that clear. I think it's awesome because I don't think it should be allowed to people that are homosexual to marry, okay? That is my point of view. More than that, this is this is just how things should be, okay? I don't want to spend that much time discussing about this. I think it would be like we have an expression to talk about this, but I don't know. I don't know how to say in English. So yeah. But the point is, you want to be homosexual and have a partner, whatever. It's fine. Do that. But marry is a different thing, okay? To marry on a church or whatever, this is uncanny, okay? This is weird. This is what I think.
Now, Obergefell's only been 10 years, and the issue at play is that the conservatives, aside from being religious, these Supreme Court justices, it is that they are going to defer to the states. The argument has always been whether or not a state chooses to recognize a marriage is for the state, not for the federal government. And the argument with Obergefell, I'm probably getting a little bit wrong, but the general idea was the federal government has to enforce equal protection under the law. So if you get a marriage license in one state, it should be recognized in another state. This is a weird way to allow for gay marriage. This is, you know what? I'll tell you what's going to happen, man. SCOTUS is going to say this. We're overturning Obergefell. If you want gay marriage, pass it in the legislature. This is what the legislative branch is for. The courts are not supposed to be passing universal law for the country. It's going to get crazy. And you know what? It's funny because liberals were saying this is going to happen. And this is what happens when Donald Trump won one term back in 2016. He got these 3 justices, and it was an earthquake. Check it out. ABC News reports Supreme Court formally asked to overturn landmark same-sex marriage ruling. It's all part of the big plan. 10 years after the Supreme Court extended marriage rights to same-sex couples nationwide, the justices this fall will consider for the first time whether to take up a case that explicitly asks them to overturn that decision. Kim Davis was jailed for 6 days in 2015 after refusing to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple on religious grounds. She's appealing a $100,000 jury verdict for emotional damages plus $260,000 for attorney fees. You know what, man? I think she's right. Now, there's an interesting constitutional argument on whether states must recognize gay marriage. And I'm not playing this stupid liberal game. I have no problem. I know conservatives, Post all the comments in the world. I mean it seriously, and tell me why you disagree. I love to hear it, but I disagree. I don't care if gay people get married. I really, really don't. I do care if they take it outside their house and start putting these weird books in schools for kids about adult activities. That's the line. That being said, there are two questions.
I care because it's clear a violation. I desire to annoy people that are Christians, for example, to disrespect the Christianity, to do this. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Disrespect our God. Okay, so yeah, I do care. Yes, I do care. But yeah, of course, like, you wanna be gay, you wanna be homosexual, it's up to you. I will still think this is wrong, but yeah, you do what you want to your life, because I think that as long as you don't burden others with your decisions, you're free to do whatever you want. But you're also free to take the consequences for it, you know? So, you're free to do whatever you want as long as you're ready to reap the accountability, the consequences, the responsibility for all of your actions. Okay? And preferably things that doesn't will fuck up other people's lives, you know? Because the others are not like... They shouldn't pay for the bad decisions you take on your life, you know? That's all up to you. It's your goddamn fault. So assume it. So, but about marriage, that's going too far in my opinion, okay? You wanna live together, you're your partner, you will... Whatever, do it. You wanna, like, whatever. Do whatever you want. But marry, for me, it's like too much, okay? It's too much.
Is marriage a fundamentally faith-based institution? And if it is, should it be at the governmental level at all? So churches shouldn't have to issue gay marriages, but this was the original argument. The state should have to issue a civil union right or something like this. The problem is, marriage as an institution is essentially, it's governmentally institutionalized. And that means it's simultaneously both a religious faith-based structure and a legal structure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Here we go, Tim.
To be honest, most of the marriage today is more like a government thing, like a bureaucracy thing, than actually like a Christianity thing. That's sad. That's really sad. And like, marriage nowadays also just became a tool to like acquire benefits and stuff from each other, or to like think you're gonna like lock someone to you forever. Like if there was a way to lock up someone to you forever, which it doesn't matter on that part, because it's actually you two are tied together by the decision, by the feeling of you wanting to stay together. But most people just like marrying desperation of like wanting to like to literally have someone tied up on with them, you know. And it's always usually more one-sided than the other. It's always the weakest part on this relation, you know?
Cool, once again, in the middle of the road, and I'll make the argument very, very simple. The federal government should not be, through the Supreme Court, issuing edict that changes the culture and the law. The Supreme Court is supposed to interpret the law at the highest level and make these determinations. Is this legal? Is this constitutional? What they did here, and I think it's plain to see, gay marriage was not universally accepted culturally or legally, and the Supreme Court said...
No, again, this was something like one more thing that was thrown up over us, you know, like, you have to accept it. Governments just say that with the power that they have over us, and we cannot, like, do anything about it, and they just decided you have to accept it. Period. And that's all. But we never had we have never had a word actually about it. And they tried media at us, mainstream media, they tried like big corpos, all repeating the same mantra that we should like accept it, or we would be like criminals, would be treated like criminals if we were not accepting it. And it was the same with literally everything else that they wanted to do or to believe. And it's what happens up until today. Even today, don't fool yourself that in 2025, in the middle of 2025, almost 2026, people actually opened their eyes. They don't, okay? The next bullshit that the government decides us that we have to believe, that we have to comply with it, they will still be able to do whatever they want. And just trust me. Next time they want just you to like literally put some weird stuff inside your body again, back like when it was on the, you know, that little thing that everyone is stay home, stay healthy, and blah blah blah, all that bullshit. You remember that? Yeah, don't fool yourself thinking that if they don't start a bullshit like that, people will not trust that again. They will. And I was one of the one of the few that was talking, what is the name of the bird again? That repeats the same thing over and over again. I forgot. Okay, I forgot the name in English. So yeah, I was screaming all this time, talking to everyone I knew. I wasn't here, of course, yet. That thing was dangerous, that they shouldn't put that thing inside their bodies, and etc. And we reached a point here in my country that I was literally putting myself in risk for saying what I think about that stuff. They were literally arresting people because of that. They were like literally fining people because of that. So I had to stop saying. And they also tried to, they actually done. Like, you can only get jobs if you have done that. You can only, in order for you to get jobs, you must show that you have taken the vaccine. And I don't even know if I can say that yet. I don't really know if I can say that already on YouTube. Yeah, because even that, like, we were censored on YouTube to talk about this stuff. And all of this, it's complicated. It's really complicated. Don't fool yourself. If these bullshits that they want are thrown already over us again, people will just accept it. In my opinion, to be honest, about all of this, in my opinion, we are fooling ourselves if we think that we still have some actual choice. And this is what, it's actually, I don't say this because I liked you. I really wish it wasn't true, but it's what I see, it's what I feel. They give us a sense that we are still free. And what we say and what we think, and like, that we still have some kind of power, that what we do and what we think and what we say actually still matters, when in fact it don't. And it doesn't matter for quite a long time already. And people seem to not realize that we are slaves. We were enslaved. Oh my god, I changed it totally, the subject, but I think this needs to be said. People should be aware of that. Oh, Mizuki, but what we gonna do with that? What you say? Even if that's true, I don't know. Okay, I don't know, but I think people should be aware of that. I think people are still not aware of that. They are living the invisible prison or some stuff like that.
We deem it so. Now, there's arguments about segregation and the
Wake
limits
up.
by which these laws are enacted. The 1964 Civil Rights Act. Thank you and have a nice day. That's my point. Congress passed a law and said this is how it should be. And the Supreme Court said, guys, there's a law. Do it. Now you've got the Supreme Court with no federal law saying every state in the country must abide by an edict interpretation that we've created. No one who drafted the 14th Amendment was like, oh, also guys can marry guys.
Oh,
But
I
don't care
know
if
how
dudes
it
get married.
is.
The problem
You
is
wouldn't
you
believe.
can't legislate from the bench.
I know very
so what
well.
needs to happen? Obergefell needs to be overturned. But liberals, spare me your whinging. I'm on your side. Just pass the laws the way it's supposed to be passed. Here's the issue. They'll never get it done. That's the problem. They'll never get it done. Look, man, I am not a person who believes that we should steal power and force people to bend to our wills. Never will be, never was. So as much as I might say, I got no problem with gay marriage. I have friends who are gay married, both men and women. And I'm just saying, and we all agree, that many of these people you probably follow on social media, they don't want kids getting indoctrinated with any of this stuff. Keep it private and live your lives. Be happy. But these laws must be made by the legislature, not by the judiciary. And if liberals and Democrats keep pushing for a fascistic, there is no truth but power system, don't be surprised when Republicans play the same game. They say in a petition for writ of cert filed last month, Davis argues First Amendment protections for free exercise
In
of
no
religion.
time, if you guys keep playing this game of let judges do whatever they want, in no time, your situation will be equal as my situation here in Brazil. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. I didn't say any names. Okay, my Supreme Court. I'm okay. I didn't call anyone names and etc. Okay, I feel free to talk. Right? Okay, please don't arrest me.
Immunizes her from personal liability for the denial of marriage licenses. More fundamentally, she claims the High Court's decision in Obergefell v. Hodges extended marriage rights for same-sex couples under the 14th Amendment was egregiously wrong. The mistake must be corrected, wrote Davis's attorney, Matthew Staver, in the petition. He calls Justice Anthony Kennedy's majority opinion in Obergefell legal fiction. The petition marks the first time since 2015 the court has been formally asked to overturn the landmark decision. Davis is seen as one of the only Americans currently with legal standing to bring a challenge to the precedent. This is crazy stuff. If there ever was a case of exceptional importance, the first individual in the Republic's history who was jailed for following her religious convictions regarding the historic definition of marriage, this should be it. I'm going to tell you, she should not have been jailed. She should not have been fined. She should not have been sued. You just fire her. I know a lot of people are saying, don't fire her, she did the right thing. No, my point is this. The Supreme Court did issue their ruling. I'm not going to sit here and say the Supreme Court is wrong, so we shouldn't have any legal requirements as, employees of government or as taxpayers. No. Look. This is the system we live in, and we believe in rectifying through a legal process errors, which means we don't resist cops. Okay, sometimes bad cops do bad things, but fighting a cop only makes it worse, especially bad ones who are now going to rough you up and lie about it. But if you get pulled over, a cop makes a mistake, whatever it might be, your victory comes from the courts, not from arguing with the cop. When the Supreme Court issues this ruling, then the issue is going to be that we fight it in the courts and we challenge it. And that being said, when Kim Davis says, I won't abide by...
If you survive the cop, of course, right? If you survive the cop, even doing what he says, then you try the Supreme Court. Okay, guys, of course, I still think that we are better trusting cops than like, not, but I saw so much shit here. For me, our cops here in my country just another type of criminals, or criminals allowed by the state is how I see them. I wasn't thinking like that. I didn't used to think like that before. But within time and seeing things happening to people close of me and, family and etc., I realized how stupid I was being for trusting on them, believing on them that they were actually doing the right thing. And at least here they are not. And what I say in United States, for example, as well, I still think that they are not so... I think the US cops are more violent. They are more violent than our cops here, way more violent. They use way more force than like an absurd amount of force many times, even though they don't need. It's undeniable. If you think they need all that force, you're wrong. Like, I see. I mean, I've been watching a lot of copcans, and sometimes I just see some weird stuff. Like, there is no way that they needed all of that force and all of it. You know, it's just absurd. Like, it's just unreal. Even comparing to my country, it's just surreal. But your cops are way less corrupt than the cops here. You know. They might be more violent, but they are way less corrupt. If you think that your cops are corrupt, you didn't see the cops here, to be honest. So yeah, I think your cops is generally saying is in a way better situation than us here. But I still think in your case of your country, you guys are better off still trusting your cops because they are still trying to do the right thing. Different than the ones here, like really. Of course, you still might have some good cops here, but they are the small minority, like really, like they are like a tiny bit of the corporation, you know. I just don't believe that. I just don't. I don't believe it. To be honest, I don't believe in anything inside my government's voice anymore here. Be it cops or whatever it is. Dell, I'm even not trusting the society anymore. Like, everyone's so stupid here. Like, oh God, I know that saying this makes me look like I feel more important than they or bullshit like this, but it's because you guys don't know. I don't know how to explain. I really lack words. I don't know how to explain. I wish you guys could know the feeling that I have inside of me about all of this. It is so like, oh God, I don't know how to describe for real. I don't know. It just make me run away immediately from here.
By the Supreme Court, they say, ma'am, here's your pink slip. Thank you for everything you've done thus far. You're free to leave. It's insane that instead of just firing her for not doing her job, they put her in jail. That's crazy. That's absolutely psychotic.
That's crazy.
Now
That's
let's roll,
crazy.
baby. Check this out. How did each sitting justice rule on Obergefell? 2015, 5-4. Sonia Sotomayor, yes. Kagan, yes. Dissent, Roberts, Alito, and Thomas. Now check this out. We have 4 justices who have not issued a ruling. Sotomayor, Kagan, Roberts, Alito, and Thomas were on the bench 10 years ago when Obergefell was ruled upon. And 3 of those said no. Of the 4 remaining, I think it's fairly obvious. Coney Barrett is a no. Gorsuch is a no. Kavanaugh's a no. Ketanji Brown Jackson's a yes. Heavens to Betsy, we may be looking at a 6-3 overturning of gay marriage. Maybe Coney Barrett will be like, no, we can't do this. It would break up families or whatever weird argument she might make because she's been. But on the issue of states' rights constitutionality, she's leaned a little bit in that direction. I know a lot of people are not super happy with her over the rulings she's issued recently because she's sided with the liberals. Even if she breaks, it is 5-4. I do not see how Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, I don't see how you are going to get. You need 2 of these conservative justices to break. 2 of them. Maybe Coney Barrett. But I don't know, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see a reality in which, I honestly think it's going to be 6-3. I think the greater probability is 6-3 overturning. Maybe Coney Barrett breaks. But the idea that Coney Barrett and Gorsuch and Kavanaugh would flip and vote in favor, not just of gay marriage.
Also, don't get me wrong, even though, in my opinion, this is still a victory, I don't think that, of course, like, I always try to remind, like, the dream of the oppressed is become the oppressor, you know? So yeah, we've been oppressed for quite a long time for this fucking leftish, this weird wokies and all of this bullshit. And we still are. But, I don't think this is actually good because we are not winning this by Congress. You know, we are not winning this the right way. We are just doing like them, you know. But of course, I live in a country where I would love if victory literally came from anywhere. But because my situation here, the situation of my country, is far way worse than you guys are. Like, is desperatable. I don't even know if this is a word. It's way too... is way too much horrifying that you don't actually care from where the victory will come, but you just want some to come. That's why everyone that has two brain cells on their heads are claiming from someone to help from outside, like what has been happening with Magnitsky over the, oh my, I think I said too much. Yeah, just like that, things like that.
Because maybe it strikes at the core of their being, they're like, this is not marriage. But also at the constitutionality, the federal government to create law from the bench. They're going to argue.
Sorry, I have to say a bit more, even though it's risky, but come on. I have to say a bit more. Come on, it cannot be like this. So we are in a so horrible situation here that we don't have any faith in your system anymore. Like, we are literally no, I can't say that. Okay, I can't.
Never.
I can't. They are starting to. I cannot say this, Joe.
Has a law been passed federalizing gay marriage? It was a Supreme Court ruling. We ain't playing that game. That's how they tend to rule. That's Roe v. Wade. They said it is not the job of the federal government to create mandates changing the legal landscape of the country. The Supreme Court is supposed to review the law and question it against the constitutionality and then make a determination based on common law and precedent. That's not what we have here. Let's say a law gets passed. Somebody sues. They have standing. Goes to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says, this law was passed by Congress. It says you got to do jumping jacks every morning. The Constitution clearly does not give the authority of Congress to make you do jumping jacks. Therefore, this is unconstitutional. Overturned. You can't do it. The idea that the Supreme Court, imagine this, and I know people are going to say it's crazy, but this is a comparable reality. Excuse me. Imagine someone files some state, a bunch, like, let's just say, who cares whether it's red or blue? Everyone is required to do jumping jacks every day. 10 jumping jacks in the morning when they wake up. And if we catch you, you go to jail. And then they file a lawsuit and they go to the Supreme Court and they say, every state now must do this. You'd be like, wait, what? Every state must require its citizens to do a thing? Now, obviously, you're going to say, Obergefell doesn't require its citizens to do a thing. It's that people who want to apply must be recognized by their state government. My point is, it's not a law. No one agreed for it to be that way. Check this out. Axios says, here's where same-sex marriage would be banned.
Now you guys understand what's
States
happening
with
here.
marriage equality bans.
It's exactly the same thing that happens
Alaska.
here. Churches are deciding literally everything here, like above Congress, above President, above everything. Oh God, I see too much. Yeah, already done this video.
Iowa is a statutory ban. And the most states, look at this, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania would ban it. West Virginia would ban it. Virginia has a constitutional ban. Tell me this. How is it that majority of the states have banned and opposed gay marriage, but this was imposed on the nation? I do not see how the Supreme Court does anything but overturn this. Now, I don't know how long it'll take. Maybe they say, I got to ask one of my buddies, my legal friends who actually track all this stuff, when the next, so end of June 2026. Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be massive. This is going to be absolutely massive, and it's going to happen. Maybe 90% chance of likelihood. I could be wrong. Because nothing's absolute. But, tell me this. Comment. I'm not kidding. You might say, Tim, Coney Barrett's going to side with the liberals. Okay, but Gorsuch and Kavanaugh are? That's going to give you 5-4. Roberts was already a no on this. You can say maybe Roberts flips and says it's settled law and marriages will be destroyed. Maybe. But then you still have a question of Coney Barrett. She might... Getting 5-4 is going to be a challenge. Getting 4-5 sounds nuts. 6-3 seems likely. Yo, gay marriage is done, man. You tell me. I'm probably wrong. I'm going to say that. I am probably wrong. But I don't think I am. I don't know. It's hard to make these heavy predictions because this is massive and the left is going to lose their minds. I don't see how, I'll say it again. I don't see how you have even Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia. It's a blue state. Constitutional ban. How these states all said no to gay marriage and the Supreme Court forced it upon everyone of this country. I got no beef with gay married people or gay people who want to get married. I say, hey man, get married, do your thing. Here's the issue. You do not get to impose your will on everyone else. We're a democracy, as it were. Now I get it. We're a democratic republic, constitutional republic with democratically elected representatives. And I know a lot of people are saying, Tim, we're not a democracy in any way. We are. We have referendums. Many states have a referendum process by which the majority of the population of the state can democratically pass laws. So the referendum process exists. We are, in fact, a democratic republic. It's a republic of states. Each state has a democratically elected representation and has mechanisms, not all, but many have mechanisms by which the people can, through referendum, change laws. So, constitutional republic with democratic institutions. I'll concede you that one. Was this democracy? No, it was fascism. I'm going to leave it there. Well, communism, fine. Authoritarian rule over forcing progressive values. Smash the like buttons, my friend. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Stay tuned. We got more coming up. And for everybody who stayed this long, become a member of the Timcast Discord. Your membership really does help us out. It supports the work that we do. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. And we're working hard, man. It's really difficult. We're trying to create community-based membership programs, and we tried doing this with our events over the past few weeks, and the venues were just, it's been rough. We were trying to do 3 members-only events after the show as part of the event. Our members pulled it together and made it happen. Shout out to Romanation and everybody else who helped make this possible. But when we were trying to set it up, I'll put it this way. We got canceled, and only thanks to the public outcry did the shows come back. Setting up the after show became nigh impossible, but we'll figure it out, guys. Timcast.com, join the Discord server. Community is the resistance to AI and automation. And we need your support. I'll see you on the next segment.
What's resistance to AI and automation? Sorry, team, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, oh god, I will not even comment this because the video is already too big and this is not the top. But I will say this is bullshit. Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, that support my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-tail fox tier member, Zalost, and my 3-tail fox tier members, Heath Rowell, Fenny Sylvy, and Radmuiel, for the incredible support to my work. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone who donated to me through Tron and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel live and grow with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. Yeah, I think I've said more than I supposed to. Moreover, about my country, and for a long time, and more than enough already. So, thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check the links below. Patreon, Discord, Skillfull Friends. Support me on any of the said platforms so I can get the fuck out of here, of this horrible country as fast as possible. And I see you all in the next one. Sorry for anything and bye.